I should really have an intro screen, shouldn't I? Stream starting soon, but it's starting right now. Hello guys, and welcome to another Thursday. Thursday again, can you believe it? I'm excited. Hope you are too. I'm gonna try something new today. I'm gonna try a new game engine again, like we did 2 weeks ago. Just making sure everyone can connect before I start. I've still got 1 minute to spare. How about that? Let's have a look. Greetings, Earthlings. Arvid is in the house. We've got the usual suspect. Mia is here. We've got Tanner, Jen Abbott, Hayes. Sorry if I'm missing a few people here, but Metal Icon, cool. Off the Rails is here. Nice to have you joining me this nice Thursday. Weather's picking up. It's really nice outside. And when I say nice, that means it's shorts weather. In fact, I'm wearing shorts right now. At least I hope so. And it's 11 degrees outside, or 10. So I'm really enjoying that. That's perfect temperature for me. So let's go. I'm gonna let people give them a chance to join. Let's chill out a little bit. Some chill music as well. So I hope you're having a good week so far. I always say that, but I truly hope you do. I did not want to see that. It's just a bare leg. You see that on the beach all the time. Maybe nicer ones than mine. Yeah, it's live. We did not need to see that. It was just the lower part of a leg. I'll show it again. See? I've got shorts on. I mean, outdoor shorts, of course. Why is it clicking? Naked leg. Yeah. You never know. We had 100 people on the waiting. Now it's down to 70. Yeah. Concurrent views. I think it just froze. Did it get cut off? Hold on a minute. It just froze. I'll have to restart the stream here. Banned. Alright, I'll have to start OBS again. Hold on. I'll be right back if you can hear. Let's try it again. Excellent condition. I just got cut off by YouTube. They're sitting there monitoring the stream, probably going, cut it, cut it. That was a disaster. No, I'm only joking. I think I did hear some clicking in my... maybe I pulled something. Maybe there's like a slight disconnect here of my cables as I did my ninja moves. Too much naked skin, yeah. Ola Jet Grove is here as well. Well, you're gonna OnlyFans, yeah. We'll see. No, this is my fans are right here, so that's good. Yeah, probably. So that's it. That's all. Well, I got a long sleeve top on top of here anyway, and I've got semi beard going. So, Christopher Sun, boom, welcome. Finally catching a stream. Happy to hear that. You're welcome. So again, as usual, we'll do the house rules first. If you have any questions directed at me specifically, do at Impensia. It'll pop up in orange. If you really, really want me to see it, there's this super chat feature or the super sticker. So then I should really see it, hopefully. If I miss it, then I have to get told off. So that's another feature. But and then you can go on and chat amongst yourself. I probably missed most of that. My vision is deteriorating by the day. So I'm like, I can't really get any closer to the screen than that. So today, we're going to be speaking about another game engine. So I've been using Unity for since 2011, I think. So that makes it 11 years. So I didn't want to say that I'm a pro Unity developer. I'm just an experienced one. Let's leave it at that. So I've created assets for a long time. I've been in it since Unity version 2 point something, and then 3 point something. Started to release assets there, and then 4, 5, and then it started on the 2017 cycle, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and they're just releasing 2022 now. So I've been using that for a very long time. I feel fairly confident in that engine. And 2 weeks ago, I started to use Unreal Engine 5. That was a very new experience, and I'm still going to learn that. I'm really looking forward to it. So I've got this, as I mentioned, a little project where I'm just going to have something in Unity and Unreal Engine where a character walks around just with an AI nav mesh, and then maybe they'll just like punch each other and see who wins at the end. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to do that, and I'm enjoying that journey so far. I'm taking some courses, and I'm doing some Unreal Engine stuff. But today I'm going to try a third engine that I've never ever launched. I've just heard the name of it. And should we focus a little bit on the name first? I think that's a controversial thing. Because let's start with Unity. I already struggled saying that because it could be Unity, that's how I say it. and my wife's British, so it's like Unity. You actually pronounce the T. Or sometimes when I say it with it's Unity, it rolls off a little bit nicer. Unity. It's like Uni-D with a D at the end. So I'm already a bit torn how to pronounce that. Then we have Unreal Engine. Super cool name. I mean, Unreal Engine. You can't really go wrong with that. Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine? Unreal Engine. It's like no way to mispronounce that. And then we have this one that I'm going to try today, and it's Godot. Yeah, that's how it's pronounced. No, it's not. Probably not, but it's spelled G-O-D-O-T. So why would you name a game engine Godot if it's not meant to be pronounced that way? I don't really know. I think it's absolutely stupid. And then that comes from me with a name like Infenzia, which some people probably don't know how to pronounce. I've heard of many different things. I've heard impotencia, infinesia, incontinencia. The list is quite long, so I shouldn't really be preaching about naming things. But at least the PH in infantia is sort of like physics. Photons. Is that spelled with a PH? Like freaking, as in hacking phones and stuff like that. It's all like PH, so it's like infantia, and the Z is like a Z. It could be S or a Z, but infantia, it's like not that difficult. But then let me go back to Godot. Good. Okay, it's apparently I've heard that it's meant to be pronounced Godot, and why it's not just G-O-D-O-H or something. Godot. I think that's how I'm supposed to pronounce it from now. But we all know it's Godot, right? Okay. Just wanted to have that settled before we got started. So that's what I'm going to be trying today. And then I was thinking, I was out for a walk earlier today, and before we get started, because this is a really touchy subject for me, how to pronounce things, since I say it wrong all the time. So, and then I was thinking, good, maybe there's like something to it. Good. And then I started to say it fast. So go. That's difficult to say fast. I don't know why you would do that necessarily, but it's like go. So and then I thought, okay, good. So maybe there's something like you meant to say it super fast or something. Maybe good. And then I was thinking good. No, I don't know. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to start it up. The only thing I actually did was download it. So I downloaded it, and I was quite happy to see that it was only 75 megabytes in size. Nearly said that wrong too. I'm going to close a few things, and I'm going to share my screen. Don't worry. I'm going to still keep my face on until I take it off. Not the face, but the screen. Let's go. I'm going to go to my download folder here, and I'm going to go into my Godot. I'm going to keep saying it like that. Godot. So here, I'm going to share my screen now. Hopefully it's still running. I'm not going to flex any more legs anymore. All right, I'm going to check the questions first as well. Godot is correct. Godot is also correct. The makers themselves don't really care. Obviously, they don't really care because they've probably heard it about a billion times. So why just don't name it something without the T then, if you don't want to say the T? I guess it's semi-French or something. So let's check it out. We've got Tanner as well. When I heard Infantia, it made me feel, I thought it said retarded, but it said related with something with impression. Yeah, all right. I've also heard I think it's in Italian, there's something called infanzia, which means childhood, and that's quite appropriate because when I do game development stuff, I remember the days when I sat with my Spectra Video MSX 728 SI, I think, or SVI, I think it was called, Spectra Video. So it reminds me of my childhood when I go do game development stuff. We've got another one here. We got something NA3EE1. Yo! Infantia, your method of texturing low poly stuff with a single color palette is really handy. Also, can't believe I just heard you. Heard about Godot. Yeah. I can't believe you have just heard. Oh, no, I've heard about Godot like before. I just never used it before. I'm going to stick to some questions before. I hope you're not in a rush. You're not allowed to be on a rush on Thursdays, by the way. So we've got chains relating here. It's like some say Godot's name is inspired from Samuel Beckett's theater play Waiting for Godot. Problem is that there's also a discussion how to say the name of Beckett's character. Yeah, probably. So let's just leave it at that. It's a stupid name, I think. All right. Anyway. Oh, music is loud again. I've lowered it. I lowered it again. Hopefully it's all right now. Okay. Is that better? Let's test it. Is that better? Check, check, check. I can't believe I always fall for that. Game engines of the absurd, yeah. Tell me, perfect now. Perfect. Great. Let's go. Sounds perfect. That's good. Every time I stream, I'm like having to lower it 10 decibels. I don't know. Maybe I better now. Anyway, here's my screen. So I download. Here's a funny thing. When it comes to Godot, I thought there was a Google game engine. I have no idea why I made that assumption. I thought it was related to Google creating something of a game engine, wanted to enter that market. And now when I downloaded it from the Godot website, I was like, okay, it's warning me to install something from an unverified publisher. So I thought, that's strange. Google should be verified. And then I realized it's not Google at all. It's something totally different. So I've downloaded it. I don't really know at all what to expect. This stream could literally end in 2 minutes as I install this unverified piece of software that crashes my computer and we can all go to sleep. But I did actually install it, so it's not going to create that much of a disaster. So I just double-clicked on this thing. Why did I get a CMD file? And then this is all I've seen so far. It's opening a nasty console here. I don't know why that is. Why? I guess that's what Blender does as well. I don't really like when consoles are laying about. So, we've got a question. I was not meant to see this because it didn't say at Infancy, but it says Dejan. I have been web developer for over 10 years. Would it be a big jump getting into game development? I would say no, because I'm saying this because some of the people that have been following this channel know that I'm creating a Line War, which is a real-time strategy game. And my co-developer, he's never made a video game in his life, but he's got 20 years of hardcore programming, full-stack web development stuff. So he's a really good object-oriented programmer, C# and a lot of Microsoft Azure things and cloud development and stuff. And he's doing perfectly fine. Just if you've got the patience and the desire to learn and switch over to do game development, a lot of the principles of programming will apply. So go for it, I'd say. All right, so I'm in here now. Okay, please confirm. Open Asset Library. What's this? Okay, let's have a look. I've got a MIDI piano demo. Android in-app purchase. Pong multiplayer with C#. Okay, I'm happy to see C# because I know C#. And we've got a 3D rigid body character demo. Okay, but I think I want to go in blank. I want to start fresh. Load project. So I'm going to start a new project. How do you do that? New project. So I'm going to browse to a different folder. And let's go. This feels very un-Windowsy, this whole browsing thing. Why would you not just reuse the Windows navigation here for this? Where's my documents? Or my D drive here. D drive. Check how tidy this is. I've just installed a new one, so it's super clean here. Projects. I only have one folder in there. This is so clean. How nice is that? Godot. There we go. And select current folder, and then we're going to create a project path here. Let's just call it project. Okay, fair enough. If you want to call it Godot. Create and edit. So I have to make a selection. 3.0 sounds way better than 2.0 of OpenGL. So let's go for that. All right, I have to minimize a little bit. Okay, I'm in the editor. All right. So it is the same UI on Windows, Linux, and Mac. Okay, I guess that's a good thing. And let's see. We've got, you can only use C# if you downloaded the mono version of Godot. Oh, right. Okay, so I've downloaded the wrong version. I should really change. So here's my first question: what do you development in if you didn't download the mono version? What's the language of choice? I might have to just scrap this one and download the other one then. But that's a very good finding. I'd like to say hello as well to 183 people who are watching right now. Thanks for joining me on this new adventure of checking out the new game engine. All right, so let's have a look. We've got a 2D scene, a 3D scene. I'm going to check out what the navigation. The middle mouse button rotates the viewport. Nice big viewport here. Right mouse button looks in a different way, whereas middle mouse button rotates around the center. Okay. Wheel, of course, zooms in and out. And Alt, I'm hoping. No. Okay. Shift middle mouse button pans me around. I can get used to that. And Control mouse wheel down is the same as mouse wheel up and down. Okay. I don't know why. It feels a bit redundant. Okay. All right. And on the right, we've got an inspector. I recognize this from Unity very well. And on the left, we've got a file system. What some of the things I like is, like I said, I like to start and go in fresh. And we've been discussing previously on this channel and on my Twitter account, we've been speaking about the nasty sizes of project files these days. And I can't remember the figures now, but when I launched a new blank Unity project, Unity, then it was like 1 gigabyte in size, and I think it was like 30,000 files. In my mind, that is absolutely disastrous. I don't even know what the project file sizes of Unreal Engine is, but I have a feeling, we're going to inspect this now, because I have a feeling that the size of this one is going to be minuscule in comparison. We go into Project Godot and check this out. This is absolute beautiful to my eyes. Properties here. It is 6 kilobytes for this empty project. I love this. That's really, really cool. All right, so if you know any Python, you'll be fine with GD script in Godot. Okay, cool. I'll check it. I'll probably stick to C# at some point since I know that one. But it's good. I'll have a look at the scripting language. So, all right, so I'm familiar with this. We've got the file system here, and what I don't really... Oh, because RES, I guess this is like a... Oh, did you ever play the Sierra games back in the day when you played like Space Quest? If you dared to play Larry back in those days, and Space Quest, I said, Police Quest and all of those. They used to have .res files, I think, or .resource. They was like packaged resource files. I used to write my own little file debuggers that would scan through those and try to find bitmaps and export the animated characters. That's my early 90s days. I love to play around with that. I've got an icon in here. Okay, we've got create node root, import scene. Scene is very similar concept, I guess, to Unity. And we've got, okay, what we've got up there? New scene. I recognize this type of stuff. Project control. Version control. Is this built in? All right. Oh, no. Set up. Okay. No VCS set on. Okay. Never mind. Simple enough. All right. Let's go for it. Can I create some sort of a primitive here? Let's right click here, I guess. New. Okay. There's no concept of a primitive here. Is there even primitives? We've got to switch between different things. We've got an asset library. Draw 3D. Wow, this feels foreign. I feel a bit when a UI is like, it feels a bit like reinventing the wheel to create a UI that is not like based on the standard stuff. No. All right. So create a primitive. I'm gonna look in my in the chat soon. Local space. I understand what that is. File system. New folder. Nothing there. New resource. What's this? Right. Animated texture. Can I find... The reason why I do these videos, by the way, on the live streams, is just so when I try a new program, you can sort of look into a little bit that it's okay to be lost. I guess it is anyway. So I usually like to play around, and then I start looking at specific tutorials or specific videos or content about something. But first, I like to just get a feel for the type of program and see how much I can grasp just from looking around to it. So create a new... Can I search here? 3D... Okay, cube. Can I do that? No. Cube mesh. All right, primitive mesh. Double click. I have no clue why I got this dialog here. So I created a resource here. All right, can I save it then? Default env. All right, save it. Overwrite. I don't want to overwrite that. Or do I? Oh, save resource as cube. Can I do that? Nope. Here, cube. I'm going to look in the chat soon. I'm sure people are shouting. Can I drag it in? No. Okay, that didn't work. It's a cube here. Why can't I not drag it in? Can I right click on it and do something with it? I've got, so a resource I've got in here. And then I've got a mesh here. I'm unable to place it. Just speaking loud here as I go about this here. Got some so the inspector here is there. This would have been the most okay, so I'm going to consult the thing now. Let's see. Top left, click on the 3D scene first. All right. Top left 3D scene. There. All right. Okay. What did that do? Do I have to drag it into the inspector here? No. This is weird. Oh yeah, okay. Can I drag it in there? No. Oh, plus. So, cube. No. Mesh or something. CG mesh. Soft body. All right. Okay, so everything in Godot is a node. All right. Oh, is it blurry today? Is everyone feeling it's a blurry stream? Todd Darnold is experiencing me as being blurry. Hopefully it's not for everyone. I'll just check the settings to make sure I'm not. There's no spoon. My spoon is too big. All right, let's go for it. So mesh instance. Mesh. Multi-mesh instance. Is that the same thing? Mesh. There we go. There. Create. So I've created a mesh instance apparently. And I guess it's in the scene somewhere. We've got, I'm guessing I can set a mesh somewhere here. Here, mesh. Okay, so here I can pick, it can create a new instance sheet, something like a new cube mesh. There we go. We've created a cube. All right. I can position it, rotate. Okay, fine. And so I'm gonna drag a 3D modeler, like, I don't know, does it even import FBX files or something? Oh, so skin, quick load. I don't know, what's a skin? Is that a material? Why not call it material in that case? Here's a material. So skin is something different. What's a new skin? I have no idea. All right, I've got an error here as well. So in my console here, there's a TLS handshake issue. All right. And arrow getting image from URL. I didn't request that. Never mind. Let's shrink that a little bit. So it imports FBX. I think, oh, so they use GLTF. Okay, I don't really like that format because there's a bug in the Blender export for that format. So if you use multi-scene references, then it crashes on export to GLTF files. But I think it's going to be fixed if it hasn't been fixed last week even. All right, so some explanation. Arvid is to the rescue here. That's basically the same as the cube you just created as a resource. Okay, but it's directly instanced in the scene tree right now in Fansia. Thank you, Arvid. So I guess I could delete this resource now then. Remove, and it'll still be here. Yeah, because it's instant into the scene. Very interesting. Instancing. Interesting. All right, can I duplicate it? Shift D, Control D. Control D worked. I can duplicate it. Interesting. Can I throw some form of physicsing? How do you play this thing, by the way? It must be a play button or something. We've got debug. Here, play. All right, please confirm. No main scene has been defined. Select one. All right, select current. You can change it later. Thanks for the help. Set current. All right, select. Why can I not? Let's try it again. Play. Please confirm. No main scene has ever been defined. Select one. Yes, I want to select the current one. Please let me. I'm not allowed to. Do I have to save it? Control S or something? Spatial. All right, that's what it was telling me to do. I should read more. Play. Select current. All right. Got firewall. Okay, you can speak. It's okay. And I'm in here. Okay, so I'm in a debug mode. I can resize my window. And it apparently launched something here. I don't see a single thing. Do I need to create a camera? So click here. Camera. Yeah, that works. Interesting. Let's drag a camera in. No, I'm not allowed to drag things in. I can move it somehow. Here. And then I want to see what my camera sees. I'm guessing there's something like a view thing. Viewports. 2 viewports. Okay, so I'm guessing this is what the camera sees. Nope. Change perspective to camera. Camera. Active camera or something. Cinematic preview. Is that what we call it now? Cinematic preview. Why don't you just call it camera view? And it still says perspective here. Okay, because I can switch it to orthographic. But it didn't. All right, never mind. Let's live with it. Let's go up here. And I see, I'm going to switch this. I'm working too wide here. Can I drag this and flip it? No, I cannot. So this is because it's a custom implementation of a window. So we don't have any nice like drag and drop. So that's another thing I'd miss. Yeah, I just want to be able to control and dock my windows where I want them. I even forgot how to get to that point now. Did I right click here or something? No, I clicked here and then I went. Okay. View. There's where I went. That's what I want. All right. So now I want to throw some. I'm going to check the chat in a minute now. People are telling me off probably for doing stupid stuff. But here, so I understand. I've got a mesh instance. I've got some inspector stuff here. We've got skin, skeleton, software, skinning, geometry, cast shadows, baked lights, body. Can I add something here? What's this plus here? Is it called rigid body in here? No. Is it called physics something? Physics material? No, I don't want to do that. Okay. Can I add some form of mass? No, I cannot. So it's not physics. I'm guessing it's not a physics material. This is only like friction and stuff, yeah. So I stepped down in the hierarchy somehow. And here I can go back in the hierarchy. Yep. So I'm going to consult the chat now. Why? Where's the physics going? It's always a node. Not a resource, it's a node. Node. Everything's a node. Rigid bodies. Everything's a node. Okay. What did I say then? A resource. Well, down here it says resource here. So I'm guessing if that's a correct statement, this is a node too. If everything is a node. And I'm guessing this window here is a node. Is it node? No. All right. So I did look for rigid body here. So rigid body is also a node, but can I not? Okay. So do I add it here? Okay. Inspector node. So you don't see the nodes in the inspector. Okie dokie. Filter signals. Gameplay in there. No, doesn't feel right. Because I can't add stuff there. So I'm guessing I'm going to search again. Rigid body. No, definitely not. Click the plus sign and add a rigid body 3D instance. Yeah. So do I have to add it in here first? Rigid body. So physics body whose position is determined through physics simulation in 3D space. I know that. Node configuration warning. This node has no shape. So it can't collide. Okay, so it's a collider of some sort. So it can't collide or interact with other objects. Consider adding a collision shape or a collision polygon to address the shape. Okay, that's okay with me. So here I can do a collision shape somewhere. I've got up here, I've got a mass and stuff. Collision. Okay, we've got layers. I like that. I like the concept of collision layers. It's very familiar from Unity. Physics material override we've got. Interesting. So add a child node here. Can I do collider? It was called a shape of some sort. Collision shape. So I added a child node now. Everything's a node in Godot. I've learned. Nice. Collision shape. So shape. So I'm instantiating now a box shape. And can I see the box shape? Yes, I can. And it's in the center there. So that's the collision node. All right. So then I can drag this instance and set it there as a child node of my rigid body. So this is starting to feel a bit like a game object hierarchy to me. We've got a spatial scene root. Nice. So this shape, I'm guessing I'll find transform here now. And this is a little... Okay, here we go. This is not surprising because I'm expecting this transform to be offset a little bit. Transform, yes. The Y component is offset, so I'll bring that down. And if I move this, it moves the entire object. Very familiar. And if I click on... This is interesting. I always like to see how... In Unity, when you click on something that is a prefab, it selects the entire object. And if it's not a prefab, it selects the component that you click on. And I don't know if there's a concept like that here, but here it seems to be once, okay, it's selecting the mesh instance. Now it's selected the collision shape. So don't really know what they use to determine what I'm actually clicking on. I guess it's some sort of a sorting issue there. So what happens if I right click here? Add child node. I'm getting used to that. Can I touch a script? Feels good enough to me. And now I want to just try. Can I drag this here and create some sort of a resource? Rigid body. I want to rename this thing. So I'm going to right click here now and create a new node. Add a child node. And I'm going to call this something else. My object. I should call it my node. My node. Okay, I couldn't create a new node. Can you do an empty or something? Oh yeah, so node is, I'm guessing, an empty node. So I want to call it my node, and then I want to see, I want to drag this now into there. So I've created a concept now of a collapsible rigid body with a, and then I'm guessing I don't really need to have the mesh instance here. I could have that parallel there to the rigid body, keep the physics separated there. And now I'm guessing that we'll have some offsets in the transform if my guesses are correct yet. So I can reset this. Can I click on? That's a nice thing. I like that. That you can click on this little reset thing. So same for here. So translation, local. All right, doesn't say anything, but it does reset it. That's what I wanted. So, and now can I drag this to there and call it my node? Yeah, I could. And now I've created, oh, so this is a concept I recognize too then. It's equivalent, I'm guessing, of a prefab. So let's delete this thing. Delete, yeah. And if I drag this in now, I can, okay, interesting. Oh no, that's the one. Sorry, okay, I was out bicycling it again. The thing that turned blue was spatial, which is my scene. So it has no reference at all to being blue as a prefab in Unity. All right, so, but this works, and it's, I like this, that it snaps to where I want, and I didn't put it where I wanted. Okay, let's delete that one. Let's delete this thing. So I've got one node here. If I drag this in now, and I release it, I would expect it to actually land there. Why did it? No. Where did this go? Can I home in on this thing? W, okay, so here's good. They're using the same W concept here. All right, I can't click on anything anymore. What's happened? Click. Click. Control S to save, I guess, but I can't select anything anymore. I've probably locked something. All right, let's have a look at the chat. All right. You shouldn't, okay, Arvid is correcting me here now. You should not use the node as parent for the mesh instance and the collision shape. Use spatial instead, because node has no properties in space. All right, doesn't it have like a transform? All right, I see. So can I create a new spatial in the root here somehow? Spatial. Nope. Okay, I can create another spatial in there. Okay, I get you. Is that why it disappeared when I dragged it in or something? Because it didn't have any placement in space or something. I don't know. And now I cannot expand this anymore. I can go into it. My node. This is so far a little bit confusing, but I guess it's a thing of getting used to. I double-clicked into that thing, into my node. I can go back to... Okay, so this opens up a separate editor. Go back here. I've got an output down here for some reason. So I can I expand and collapse all here? No. What happened to the contents of this? Somewhat confused there. Is that what I did? My node. Maybe I created something that doesn't exist anymore. What? All right, let's have a look at the chat. I'm gonna look for @Impensia here. Like, all right, so Christopher Sundblom, you can lock the children or childs, so you can only select the parent. Okay, oh, that's good to know. So, why Godot? Has Unity become too bulky? No, Lyndon, I'm just checking out different. I want to learn the three engines. I would like to have a pretty good understanding of our Unity, Unreal Engine, and Godot. because I want to be able to help people when they make a choice. I get that question a lot, and I've never been able to answer. I could only answer it from a Unity perspective. May Unity be right for you? So if I learn at least to some extent how to use the engines, I can give a little bit more insight to when the different engines are appropriate. I think they all three of them have the perfect use cases for them. I think I have no clue how to use this at all. As you can see, I'm totally lost a little bit in the node hierarchy and stuff. But I'm guessing that's just a thing to get used to. Right off the bat, I feel like this would create a very much lightweight, simple game. Very, like I said, lightweight, fast loading, small executable, small package, which has a cool thing. My initial impression is that it's a lot more primitive. And it feels a bit hacky. When I say hacky, I don't know. It just feels like not as an evolved product for those reasons. But it feels like when I tried. Should I compare it? I don't know how to compare it. It feels like okay. Here's a good example. So if Unity is something like Word or something. And Unreal Engine is, do I have WordPerfect anymore? Another version of Word. I don't want to say Google Docs because it's so stripped down. But like if we compare those engines to that, I feel like Godot at the moment is more like a Notepad. But Notepad is very stripped from features. So maybe Notepad++. That's a good comparison, I think. Because it's like, it's got tons of cool features, very versatile. I use Notepad++ all the time when the timing is right. But then I also use Word when I need to have fancy structures and more complete table of contents and rich text and stuff. But the files become a lot bigger and they have their use case. So probably the crappiest comparison ever, but I just made it. Right, so 0, right-click and save branch as scene, and then you can make it a prefab. So, all right. Yeah, Mr. Alien, yeah, Godot is pretty young and immature at the moment. I think that's why, in terms of a community as well, I guess it's growing, and I think it's fairly popular amongst the people that do use it. And again, I think there's a very cool use case for the game engine. I haven't found it for me yet, but I will probably at some point. Don't say anything without knowing anything. Well, then no one would hardly ever speak. I've learned not to be afraid to speak. I can always be transparent and say that there are some things I don't know. There are some things I know, and when you can always share your initial reflections and stuff and how you feel when you're faced with it, especially putting into perspective. And even if I started to use this a little bit to get a primitive platformer or something going, I could at least guide people in saying some of the pros and cons and the limitations. So, yeah, I think Godot is way easier to learn than, if you came in fresh. I'm coming in from a Unity background now, so if I had never looked at a game engine at all, then I wouldn't have the notion of what a game object or a prefab or anything like that is. So I totally understand that part, that if you're coming in totally from nowhere and thought I'm going to learn how to make a game, then I perfectly understand. I'm probably stepping on a lot of toes here because I can imagine pro Godot advocates are as well, like they're going to defend it to the bones. But trust me, I do think it's got a perfect use case. I think that all three engines are pretty excellent. So let's see. We're going to YouTube man. Enter the node scene. Right click the node. There's a lot of node stuff here, and change type. All right, so I could change type, you say. Right click. Don't see any change type here. Probably blind as usual. And this, I'm guessing this is the node tree, right? So, is there anything over here? Script. I don't know. I'll just keep. Here, why if I click this? I think I've done something stupid anyway. And the fact that I cannot select anything anymore, and the fact that my spatial, I still struggle a bit. Okay, so why this has got a box here for some reason, and I'm getting some interesting issues here. Editor plugins, previewing is true. All right. So what is this box here that I see? Is it something to do with my camera? Nope, it's got its own little box here. Spatial, my node. Transform. So I've apparently offsetted this somehow. Oh, that is. Okay. I have no idea what this. What's an orange box? Come on. Let's see. Make the scene local on this scene. All right. It's like, feels like I'm on a different planet. But I'm probably still on Earth. Make a local scene. All right. You know what? I feel like starting over now. I'm going to delete this thing anyway. Okay, so it disappeared. Okay, Control Z. Does not Control Z work? Undo. Control. All right, so Control Z didn't work for me, but undo there did. Let's try it again. Delete my node. Yes, Control Z. Now it worked. Delete. Try again. Control Z. Oh, didn't work. Strange. But I still cannot select it. And someone said something about a 3D scene or something, or local there. View. I'm gonna switch to one viewport. Still can't select anything. Have I locked anything here? Scale mode. What's this? Show list of all objects. Okay, so orange is the bounding box of all the child node. Okay, thanks. So I've got, I'm just checking here. I've got my camera. Okay, so it's showing me the centers of the boundings, I'm guessing, because it's not, otherwise it would have bound the content of this one too. So I'm guessing it's in, like showing me the centers. Interesting. All right, so let's see. Patrick Sieber. You cannot select my node because it has no transform, because it's a node and no spatial. Okay. I understand that part then, that I can't select it anymore. I was slightly surprised that it also teleported me into nothingness. But I could go into it, I noticed, if I double clicked on it. I think I did anyway. Double click there. So this one I've got here. Can I, here's where I could change type. All right. And here I could change it to a spatial, right? Sorry for being slow, guys. It's probably easy when you know it. And when you're sitting at the comfort. Are you watching this at your computer or on your couch, I wonder? Put it in the description. All right, let's have a look. So I've changed this one now. I'm going to go back here. Okay, I guess I have to save it. Control S. And I'm not going to call this my node anymore because that's wrong. It's going to be called my spatial. Control S. Go back into spatial. Spatial. When we're speaking about how to pronounce these things. So, okay, so I've changed this to. So I thought I'd rename this thing. All right, so I renamed it to my spatial. I saved it, but the object here is still called this. So, all right. Okay, is this the expand thing? No, so that's a visibility thing. Expand, no, all right. So I have changed the type as far as I can say. Maybe I wasn't allowed to do it. My spatial now has a transform. It's here, but it's not there. All right. On the second screen. On the second screen? Which screen? All right. So you hide the collision shape when you press the I to the right of it. All right, that's fine. Oh no, that's actually hiding the render, not the collision one, right? It's hiding my my mesh instance, I'm guessing. Did it rename this thing? No, my node is it's still called up here. Right click. How do I change this? My node. I've changed the root name here. My spatial. You saved the scene as a file in the file browser called my node. All right, okay. You need to rename it there. So F2 works. Okay, that was my gut instinct. Is F2 is rename. That worked. That's good. So I'm going to call it my spatial. I guess. Control S. So now, here we go. All right, now it's the final piece of the puzzle here. Why can I not expand it then anymore? What have I done there? Because now it does have a transform and stuff. So, all right, got Wayne here. Is sitting at the computer, but have YouTube playing on the TV. Nice. TV and computer in the same room. Sweet. My friend Jim, I think I saw him in the chat here. He's got the same setup. I always like to keep it tight like that if I could. the more space you have, the more chances you have to mess it up with lots of junk. All right, so I'm just going to scroll up and see if I missed anything. All right, so you need to enable editable children. Editable children. Editor description. Right click. Editable description. No, children, I mean. There. Okay, thanks. Nice. I wonder why... Okay, so that disappeared by default when I did that thing or something. And these are grayed out now for some reason. All right. I'm not, this is not going fast for me, but now I'm going to try to drop this thing. If I press play now, I've got a camera. Surely I should see this thing drop now, right? And now I cannot select my camera. Okay, here's another one then. If I select this one, click, 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 click. Can I not select the camera for some reason? I have to select it in the hierarchy type equivalent here, maybe. Press play. There we go. All right, so I've got the physics shapes on it, unless I need to enable gravity or something. Let's check it out. Cameras can't be selected. Interesting. I notice. Thank you. Francis the cat just told me. Thanks. Because it works as nested prefabs of Unity. Okay, cool. You only move the mesh instance. It needs to be a child of the rigid body node. All right. You only moved the mesh instance. It needs to be. So all right. Okay. That's an interesting one, of course. So this one, do I need to make this editable too? Edible. I'll double click here and go in here then. So if I do this, the mesh instance. So this one is interesting. So it's the transform here that's going to change, not my spatial itself. It's going to be, I guess, in the. So if I raise this up, Control S a few times, always like to save. In doubt, save. Don't overwrite unnecessarily. All right, where's my play button there? Oh, nice, it worked. So if I make a static one now too, then if I make a Control D copy of this one now, Control D, move it down, and this one I'm gonna just have the physics shape. All right, there we go. Now I can see that on again. Here, I really want to edit this. I really don't want this to be grayed out now. Inherit. So have I locked this somehow for editing? Think of it as scene has a class and the node you're created as an instance of that class. Okay. All right, so the scene has a class and the node you created as an instance of that class. Yeah, I understand. What's going to be interesting here, see, always make changes to the scene itself. All right, the mesh, all right, good. Click the scene button. All right, so is there a scene button somewhere here? Play scene, custom scene, nope. All right, still don't know that. I don't see a scene button. I've seen a scene folder. All right. So there are classes in Godot, which could get confusing. Okay, my spatial is a... All right, so exactly, my spatial is a Unity prefab. And so if it's a prefab, I cannot edit it as an instant object. Is that what's happening? So I have to double click on it to go, or I have to click on this thing, open in editor, I guess then. To actually edit it in here. So if I wanted to disable physics here now, or like can't sleep, that's okay, you can sleep, that's fine. Gravity. This is interesting. Mass is 1. I wouldn't necessarily call that weight. 9.81 or something. That's an interesting concept. Weight, mass. What's the difference between weight and mass? In my world, it's the same thing. Gravity scale though, down to... Interesting. I would expect a mass or weight. So now when I disable that thing, okay, so here we go. Now I'm into, of course, my spatial, and this is an instance of that one. So did I just change both ones now? That's gonna be, so gravity scale is 0, okay, so I cannot do that. I need to go back in here and go back up to gravity scale 1. And now I want to break the inheritance or something. Let's see. Reparent. No, I don't want to do that. I want to break it. Break it. Instance. Right click here or something. Open an editor. No. Normally I find a little bit faster to just like... So I know what I want to do here. I want to split this. I want to take away the inheritance or something. Reparent, no. Delete nodes. Break it for me, please. There's no hammer icon. All right, so, oh, Chris Del Pierre. Say it wrong, probably. Very good line work. So, with editable children, you can edit the rigid body instance. Those properties should be unique to the instance and not necessarily the class. Yeah. So I'm guessing I wanted to edit my instance instead of having to go in here. Can I change these as overrides or something? So if I go into my rigid body here for this one, I change the okay. So this is the override for this particular instance. I'm guessing because now if I go back here, yeah, all right. So I can override it. And do I see overrides or anything? No. Oh, another thing that I probably would have expected if I overrode this one is that I'd see... Oh yeah, because this reset thing here, I guess. Yeah. All right, so it does show me a little reset thing. So now in my world, or in the scene, it should not fall that one, but the other one should hit and collide it, right? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's not a static thing, so... can move, and if I can make it in Unity, there's something called is kinetic, which basically makes it a rigid body, but it's like locked into place. So I'm going to see if there's anything. We've got mass. We could make it super. If I let's try it. If I just bump up the mass, I'm expecting it to hit it and move a little bit, but not as much. Yeah, so that makes sense. Elementary. But I should also be able to, and I'm guessing to make it a static object collidable, I could theoretically just disable the rigid body component altogether, right? So if I do this on this one, all right, so I'm not allowed to drag this one. I cannot restructure it here. Oh, right, okay, is this what someone told me? Instance child scene, no. All right. Let's have a look at the chat now. Save me, guys. Change rigid body to static, okay. Right. The next thing, static, rigid, static, cool. That makes sense. Oh, there's another one. Kinematic. I thought that was similar to static. So play now should be the same. It should not budge at all now. So when I do this, play, pow. We've got collision. And then here, I guess I can do physics material stuff. Can I do a quick load? Can I get a rewind? Nope. So I'm guessing I can introduce bounce and stuff. Let's try that. I just want to see if I can. So I want to do here. I want to. Is that on the rigid body? I do add physics, if I can spell, physics material. Material. Okay, so that's not an instanceable class to that. So do I need to do a new resource here then? And do physics material, yeah. So I'm gonna call it bouncy piece mat. Save it. So I've got my bouncy physmat material here, and I want to ramp the bounciness up a lot. Like it a lot. And now I'm gonna assign it. Okay. Did it? Why didn't I know? So load physics material. So now this one should bounce, right? Let's try it. Woo! Yes! And it bounced. Oh, okay. We got some instability there. Feel proud now. Gamer's ready. Let's ship it. So physics material is something called a resource, which is different. Yeah, I understand. So you can reference that resource from the resource file. I like that concept a lot. I mean, it's similar to, again, similar to, I'm translating it again into Unity. A material in the project folder would be there, and then you select it. That makes perfect sense. All right. So, collision detection, continuous collision detection. All right. Let's do something else. Let's do control. All right. Cannot operate on nodes from a foreign scene. That's okay with me. Control D there. Control D there. Let's get some. Can I multi-select? Multipass. Multipass. Select, select, select. Control works. That's good. Like Control D. Control D. Control D. Let's play it. Okay, we've got some stuff there. Good. I'm gonna make this one a little bit bigger now. So I should. All right. Here's the thing. Why? So you probably said this already, but I'm expecting to be able to click on this unit here. And when I say unit, I mean object. To the moon. Multipass. Multipass. You can always create a new resources directly from this menu. Select the node. Go to the physics material property. Click the arrow and select new physics material. All right, cool. From this menu. Cool. You have the move tool selected. Yeah, I did try to select different stuff here. So, I mean, I was expecting any of these to work to select my object here. Click, 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 click. All right, let's have a look. Oh, yeah. I used some asset I made from your tutorials and used them in some Godot projects. I love Godot. Unfortunately, I'm about to head out to lunch, so I can't answer questions if I was able to. Well, have a good lunch. Thanks for dropping in. Right, normally you select with the arrow. All right, move left of the move tool. Yeah, I tried this one too. Okay, apparently I didn't. I thought I did. All right, okay. Fair enough. What's it called? Select mode. Q, W, E, R. All right, I like hotkeys, so that's good. So now I should be able to Q or R this one and then scale it. And here, interesting. I don't really like the way it's scaled, but it's okay. I have to like release a mouse and keep dragging again. So, but that works. All right. So Control S. See how it behaves. Okay. That was unexpected. It goes through. All right. Okay. I understand why, of course. Because the collision shape is not scaled. So is it all right to put the collision shape as a child of... I was expecting that. So it's a bit confusing, isn't it? That you have to select, like press Q to select a new object every time. Well, it's okay. I'll live with it. So now the transform here is got a massive scale. So I should be able to drag this one. All right. So I'm still stuck a little bit here when it comes to, did it freeze now? I have to resume the stream. I had some issues again. I think I've got a glitchy connection, so when I bump my table, it actually interrupts my stream. I have to be very careful here. Click on box shape, right corner, right corner. A right corner box shape. All right. I'm looking for a box shape in my right corner. Here's my right corner. I might. What happened? I went into the prefab thing. All right. Look, they aren't linked. Children do get scaled, yeah. Yeah, I think you can't edit the scene tree from an instance. You have to edit the scene itself. Also, collision shape must be a child of the rigid body. Can't be a child of mesh. All right. So, all right, okay, interesting. So the collision shape must be a child of the rigid body. and can't be a child of the child mesh. So, and they aren't linked. Children do get scaled though. I would have, okay. So, sorry, people have been telling me this probably now, but I want to, I don't want this grayed out anymore. And I'm trying to figure out, maybe you guys have been saying it for a long time, but I'm too thick to, to realize where it is. But there's something here. Make local, okay, make local. Right click, make local or something. No. Sure, make local will make it. Right click and make local. Oh, that's what I'm trying to make. There, thank you. Thank you. So right click on the root object I did and then make local. That makes it like a local instance. It doesn't use the prefab type of thing. All right. And if I understood it correctly now, I could not could I child that one under there and then inherit the transform, or is this exactly what could not happen? So the collision shape, that's what I want to scale up. Let's do 200 by 200. And then if I do this one to 1, 1, 1, yeah, that worked. Okay, so it does inherit. I'm guessing this would work, or maybe this is exactly what I was told not to do. All right, it seems so. So if I put my mesh as the child of the collision shape and I reshape the collision shape, I guess that doesn't necessarily make sense either. It does in a way, but not in other ways. But that's okay. All right, so now I'm going to try something different then. I'm going to try to, I'll just feel slightly okay. It's because I've got such a high bounciness, I guess. I should dampen that a little bit and see to make sure it's not totally unstable. These are the bounciest cube in existence right now. Yeah, it is. It's 1.0 of bounciness. Super high. So if I go down to 0.97, theoretically, it should not bounce as much because 1 is like super bouncy, but 0.97 is slightly less bouncy. I'm going to see how fast it goes. Leave them to 1. The cubes are having a party. Yeah. All right, so Chris is saying, as far as I understand it, you typically don't want to scale collision shapes. Okay, it's kind of not applying scale in Blender. I see what you mean. Instead, you want to edit the extent of the actual collision. Okay. I know in Unity as well, it's not really good practice to scale. You should avoid scaling things as much as possible in transforms. You should be able to, like, preferably if you have a character, you should operate on it as an unscaled. I don't know if that's necessarily the same thing. But you said that there is something called extent, which I'm not too familiar with at the moment then. But I think in general shapes, usually I don't really use primitive shapes in the game anyway, so I'd probably have a mesh for a floor anyway, or maybe a tile or something that a game character would jump on. And then that would be at a native scale anyway, so usually scaling isn't really that much of a problem, I don't find. But it's okay. Okay, click the box shape property. Click the box shape in the inspector. All right, here. Okay. Ah, thanks. Size here, so I can change the size here then. Interesting that the default size was... Oh, here we go, extents. All right, so I'll do slightly smaller. I'll do 20. And mesh instance here. We'll go back to... I'm going to change the scale here again, and scale is going to be 1. It's interesting that it rounded it, but we know that the rounding issues in floating point are interesting. So if you're totally new to stuff when it comes to programming and stuff, or even like making games and stuff, it could be good to know that when you write 1 here in the values of equivalent of translation and scale and stuff here, 1 doesn't necessarily mean 1 in the world of floating point. It's because it's trying to represent the 1 as close as it can with the bits that it's got available. So in the computer's mind, it could, funny enough, be something like this. And the UI will round it off now, but this is the same in any game engine that use floats, and even in doubles. Doubles is 64-bit precision on these instead of 32. So you can never do like, or you should never do like compare something of this nature with like, is it equal to 1.0 or something? Because that could fail. Because it's approximately equal. Even if it says 1, it's not necessarily 1 there. Keep that in mind. Side note. All right, so we've got this one now. So I did increase the extents here now to 2020. And mesh instance, I'm guessing I can do the same. It doesn't have the concept of extents, but I should be able to change the scale here. Ah, okay. So, okay. This is actually changing the core mesh that is instant and copied. So I'm not allowed to change this one, to change the scale. But here then, I could scale this one. I'd just have to do it manually. So I'd lose the concept of having, so I'd scale this manually to equivalent of this one. Yeah. Not ideal. Okay, this is interesting too. Why? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, I didn't expect this. Because I changed the collision shape now, the extents of this make local version, and I did not expect... Okay, it's because again, okay, I've changed the extents of the box shape itself. So I have to go back to 1 here. I go back here, this one's shrunk again. So now I have to do another instance or something. So if I do new box shape, I'm guessing. How I got 2 box shapes here now. 20, 20. So now I changed the extents of this particular one, right? We've got collision. Can I name these somehow? Edit. Box shape, yeah. So, no, I'm not allowed to name. It'd be confusing if they're all called box shape. You can make it unique. All right. Oh, okay, so I should have done that instead. Let's Control Z a few times. And then let's repeat. Can I get a repeat? Ah! Redo. Control Shift Z. All right. So I'll still go down here to 1, 1. And then it was the make unique. So it's not make local now. It's make unique somewhere. And that was here, was it? Make unique. Okay. How? And how does it tell me that it's unique now? It doesn't. Or it probably does. 20 and 20. So there we go. All right. That's fair enough. Let's press play one more time and just see. Oh, am I doing this in edit mode? Does it actually persist? Seems like it does. So that was an interesting lesson to learn as well. If you make changes in Unity during runtime, they don't save, whereas these do. So maybe that's an edit. All right, so YouTube man, unfortunately box shapes cannot be renamed. However, these shapes are not intended to be reused. No, I understand that. That's a good point too. So it is fairly interesting, but the override, I would expect to be able to see that I've got an override at least. I'm sure that it's telling me that somewhere. With this rigid body, or for this collision shape, I've overridden that. And see if I compare that onto this one. Oh yeah, so I can do a revert here. But it's also something else, probably resource here, local to see. All right, now I'm going to try to do something here. Yeah, I can imagine that it is handy. Sometimes it's frustrating in Unity that it doesn't apply persistently. And sometimes it's a savior because you like just want to launch the game and try loads of different things and then just press stop and everything goes back to the way it was. So it's got pros and cons, I think. All right, now I'm going to do... I'm going to create another primitive object here of some sort. Let's just keep these bouncing away like silly things for now. There was one thing I wanted to check actually. This one does have a transform. And if I press play now... Okay, here's another interesting thing. It literally launches the game and does everything. So I'm assuming that there's no concept of having like this as a scene view while it's happening, like I would expect in Unity. So it's literally, it takes, this is my editor, I press play and it's handed over to a compiled equivalent then, and then that's it. Which is fine, I guess. Just a different way to do it. And the bouncy material, I'm going to lower the bounciness a lot. There you go. Okay, you can edit the transforms in the editor and see it change in the played game. Okay. And on the left side, on the top screen, you have local game and remote running game. All right, okay. Let's see. I have to read that one again. So on the left side, on the top scene view, you have local game and remote running game. Top. There we go. Local, remote. And all right. Okay, so I can see the properties of remote. I don't see the scene view, but I do see like the properties in here, I guess. So if I press play and I do remote, this is my running game then. I've got spatial here. Okay, so I've got my velocity and stuff updating here, the transform. Interesting that I've got multiple transforms. That's a bit unexpected, maybe. Is it because it's the children here? No. All right. That's okay. That's cool. So I can see at least my hierarchy. I don't see the scene view, or unless there's some concept for that as well to switch it. But I don't really see the... Oh, yeah, it would be handy, maybe. Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help. Let's see. So now I wanted to just create something different here then. So I've got this. Can I sort this into like a tidy folder now? So if I right click here, I guess I'll create another child node. And does it have to be a spatial then? I don't necessarily want, but I made a mistake of making a node before. So I'm going to just call it this like environment. I'm going to call this environment. And then I'm going to move all of these. Can I collapse all or something? Probably. Or Alt click or something. Control click. No. Shift click. Right. So shift click here expands or collapses all. All right. Good. So now I want to move these nodes into environment. Is this legal? Can I do this? I hope so. And what's this one that I made? I don't know. Let's delete it. Oh, that's one, the new one I created. So I've got a new node here. I'm going to call this one player. And then I'm going to create something. Right click, add child node. I'm going to create, I'm not going to use a rigid body. I just want the collider this time. Can I do that? No, I want a rigid body. No, I don't want. Do I want to? Do I want to? No, I'm just going to do the collision thing. Collision shape. And this time then I'll do not an empty. I'll want to have a capsule. And I was expecting a capsule. There it is. It was just small height of my capsule. So I could click on it, right? Height. So here is an interesting one because as said, I don't want to change the and so this one, but I can change the scale of the capsule there, but then it scales it. It's not really scaling the capsule then. Height here. Okay, okay, so I changed height and it's changing the width. Confusing somewhat. I would have expected it to instantiate it in its correct rotation. So I'll just do width. Collision shape, height 1, radius. So, actually, we haven't discussed the topic of concept of forward and stuff. So I can see that x-axis, I'm guessing, is the red, hopefully, yeah. And we've got the z-axis here. Okay, so this is, I'm guessing, similar to Unity. Is there a concept of a forward axis here? All right, so the player node needs to be a kinematic node, like the boxes are rigid body nodes. Okay, cool. We'll do that then. So player, can I change the type here? Right click, change type. I don't know if I should do that at the root, but rigid body, and then change my... Okay, what's happening now? Oh, I clicked this one. So back here, rigid, kinematic instead. So forward is, negative Z. So let's just make it different then for the sake of it. So in Unity it's positive Z, in Unreal Engine it's positive X, and in Godot it's negative Z. All right. So collision shapes needs to be a child of one of the physics nodes: rigid body, kinematic, body static. All right. The blue arrow is heading towards forward in Godot, which is negative Z. All right. Interesting that it's funny how, like, let's make a new game engine. That's a big step. Let's... That doesn't apply in my brain then, because now if I move it forward according to here, it's actually positive translation. But okay. So here I go. I've got the collision shape. Let's higher that up. And why on earth, or why on this in this scene is this laying down when I'm changing the height? I changed the height of my capsule and it's going fatter. Someone would call it a design feature. Right click player and change it to kinematic. I thought I did. I changed it to kinematic. Is it the whole thing? Okay. Sorry. Change type. Kinematic body. Okay. I misunderstood. I set it as there. So if I have a kinematic body, does I have a concept of something collision already? Safety margin, motion. I need a sub-object then, if it's a kinematic body. So let's get rid of the collision shape, I'm assuming. Because I still have a collision object here or something. Collision. Oh no, I didn't. Or did I? Collision. No, did I just delete it? I thought I could. Collision, safety margin. Okay, so I do need a physics shape. Add child node. Physics. Or shape. Collision shape. Collision shape. Yeah, the collision still reside. Undo. I'll just add it again. The capsule was correct. It needs to be a child. That's good. So that still applies. It is somewhat... Okay, so I changed it again. Capsule. New capsule shape. And Control S to save it. And now when I go back here, I still have... Do I have those properties again? It feels like I lost a few properties when I did that. Collision shape here. Spatial. Move it up. Okay, there we go. It was just underground. But I should change the whole player position, right? I should really have the collision shape should be transform 000. That's good. Player is now in the air somewhere, right? Transform 2 meters in the air. It's quite high. Kinematic body controllers are definitely simpler. That's good. Hello guys. Hello Mirko. Oh no, is it freezing again now? I just heard a click in my headphones again. I have to sit still. All right, okay, that's good. So Mo saying an easier way to do this is to make a kinematic body and then add a mesh as a child and then use Godot auto-generate the collision shape for you. Okay. Add a mesh. Oh, let's try that then. That sounds like a better workflow. So let's get rid of this one. And I made a kinematic body. Let's see. Add a mesh as a child and then use Godot to auto. Okay, so right click, add child node, mesh, and it's going to be a mesh instance. I want to pick a cylinder, new, or a capsule, mesh. And I'm guessing, for some reason, I really frustrate myself with the way different rotations are. But I've got my capsule here. And height. So here was what we were discussing before. You don't really want it to... I'm going to take this off now. It's getting warm in here. I've got my camouflage t-shirt on. If you don't see me, then you know why. Then let's see now. So one of the recommendations was to not change the mesh instance properties of the primitives, because then it would apply for all of those instances. But if I wanted to change the height of my capsule during prototyping, I would want to change the height, which ironically enough changes the width. So, all right, very interesting. So, I mean, I guess I could rotate the whole thing and stand the capsule up. Change the radius. I'll just use one capsule, I guess, but I don't really like the idea of that. But okay, I'll live with it. So now I need to go there, click there, delete. Can't operate on nodes from a foreign scene. Okay, I'm in this scene though. Delete. Foreign scene. Click, delete. Oh, all right. Oh, okay. So here we go. Here's because I tried to delete this one. I'm gonna have to select there and delete node. Okay. So here we come to the point where it actually selected the inner object of side the collision one. So it makes sense. I had to delete the root object. So here's my player now. Finally, I've got something. And it's called a mesh instance there. Now I'm going to throw a script on there. I've got a warning here. Okay, you can't collide. So I'm going to auto-generate something now. I right-click here. That was my intuition. Probably wrongly so, said that I should right-click and auto-generate something. But it's probably not here. I'm sure there's like a nice then way to say create me a... Can I do it from here? No. In the top bar, select the root node. Top bar. Collision object. Is it here somewhere? No. On the top bar of the viewport. Okay. Very confusing. So this is my viewport. Top bar. Oh, up here. With the mesh instance selected. Okay. Okay. Is that here? Let's read it. Create navigation mesh, create outline mesh. There. Oh, this I like the idea of this. Create multiple convex collision siblings. And I'm gonna do a single one now, but that sounded super interesting. But very unnecessarily detailed collision shape there. But I like the, let's see if I delete that one. Delete, select, because this is something I've actually really missed in Unity. When I click on this one, multiple convex collision siblings, collision shape. Okay, it only created one convex anyway. What I've been looking for in Unity is creating something that fills something in with primitives. I know there are some third-party things that do that, but it's much faster to use primitive collision objects rather than a mesh in any game engine. So trying to maybe, if you have a car, for example, instead of having the car mesh act as a collider, you'd want to create maybe a basic box and then another box that overlaps where the sitting part is of the car. Coupe. So you want to create it out of primitives that way. And I was hoping game engines would have a really neat way of doing it. Instead of having to manually go there and place it, I want to have a voxel-like scan of the object, and then it figures out the primitives to put in there. That would have been cool. But never mind. So if I press play now, this should just not fall or anything. No gravity. That would be interesting then. If I want the gravity, if I jump as a character, then I would have expected... But now I'm going to try to control this. I'm going to right-click, attach a script, I'm guessing. I create my first Godot script here. Godot script. Create. And we got extend. So someone said it was close to the way, Python works. And I already recognize that we don't have... We've got indentation seems to be controlling So ready, called when the node enters the scene tree for the first time. So this is equivalent to start. And then here, I like that they rammed that one out by default, because in Unity, the update, the update mono behavior is called on every frame on any component that has it. And by default, when you create a script, it has an empty update folder. So a lot of the objects that may not even need that one, and people are too lazy to delete it. So it's good that it's renamed automatically. So pass, replace with function body. Okay, now I'm going to try to do something. I've never seen this programming language, but it's, again, it seems... so I'm going to do, is there something called input? Dot get something, get axis, I'm guessing. All right, let's have a look. So we got horizontal. Is there such a concept? Horizontal, no. All right, horizontal. There was such an axis. So can I do some sort of a translation now to my object here, to my kinematic bot? So translate object local. Vector 3. So is our predefined vector 3s maybe? Vector 3 dot left or something? Yeah. Or right, it should be put. Times. Okay, I have no idea. Do I do semicolons or anything? No, doesn't look like it. Control S. Will this even compile? Do you even lift? Let's try it. It's gonna throw his if it. All right, so, oh, okay, so right doesn't exist, but left did. Left, oh, okay, so it's capitals, right. There we go. Control. File in use, locked or lacking permissions. Well, did I save it too fast? No. How can I, it's my own, okay, I'm running. I was running. It's my Forrest Gump impression there. Totally free on a Thursday. Press play. All right, so we got some get access, too few arguments. Okay, how many do you want? Comma. Okay, so offset. It looks to me like it's supposed to be one. Why am I not? Oh, okay, because I'm still in run mode. More Godot tutorials, please. Yeah, I'm gonna look at tutorials. How can I possibly like drag you guys through my experience, my first experience of trying a new engine? Maybe this is a bad idea. Control left click the documentation. Documentation? Well, I don't even know what that word means. Yeah, exactly. Vector 2 right means just 1.0. That's fine. Vector 3 right should work too. So let's see now. Expect comma or. Oh, okay, am I missing a bracket? Just. Okay, so it's still showing up in red, so I don't need to press play. Expecting at least 2, so translate. Okay, the amount or something, comma. This is interesting. It only says that I need one argument here, an offset, which is a vector 3. Or is this, do I need to actually write offset colon or something? That makes no sense. No. All right, so let's have a look. You should remove the pass keyword, okay. And there's no concept of code. So we've got var here. Delta is from, okay, so delta I want to multiply with. But it's still throwing me some errors here. So too few arguments for get, oh, for get axis. So it would help if I could read. Positive action. So there's my positive action. String. Positive action. Can I, so I could get a control click to help on something. Yeah, all right, cool. Control, that's a very useful thing. Control click. Positive string. Get access input by specifying 2 actions, 1 negative and 1 positive. Okay. This is shorthand for input get strength. Positive action. Am I missing, maybe I'm misunderstanding that. Maybe it's not such a thing as a, so usually I would have expected a get axis of an axis, which could be horizontal, to be either positive or negative. Why would I want to do, is this actually calling something get axis? get axis input by specifying 2 actions, one negative and one positive. It's like a riddle to me. This is shorthand for writing input.getAction strength, positive action, minus. All right, I need to set up an input map. I can imagine I do. Is that in project somewhere? Project settings, input map, okay. Action. All right, so go left, go left. I think life is peaceful there. Or was it west? Add, and go right. So it's not really an axis, it's like an action then. So dead zone. No, that makes no sense. It should be horizontal then. So that was a stupid thing to do. Or go left. I thought I was onto something there. Okay, no, so it is horizontal. So horizontal, I want to call it. Let's get rid of this one. We've got plus here, physical key. Physical key or a key? What's the difference? Press a key, A. And then plus. Press a key. Physical. What's the difference between a physical key and a normal key? A virtual key. Key, D. Oh, no. I'm off. I'm doing it wrong again now. So it is just go left, isn't it? I can only do one, and it's alternative key, so it's alternative. So go left is A. Then I do add another one. Go right plus key D. There we go. So now I've set up input maps here. Dead zones. All right, fair enough. So how do I get back out from the... I could control click to get into the documentation. Now I want to get out of the documentation. Double click here. So this is just physically it's the same look. Oh, right, okay, cool. So that's always a problem. Like I've got a Swedish keyboard because I'm in Sweden, and a lot of the key mappings for the likes of Blender and stuff, as soon as they start putting keys where the Swedish or is, it's always an issue. Super frustrating. Just click on your script and lift. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, okay, so I go there. Oh, okay, cool, input. So this is my help for input here. It's still expecting me to get, I still don't understand this part. How thick can I be? Because we call this one, first of all, go left, and then we call this one go right, but that doesn't make any sense to me. So get axis is just combining 2 keys then. Okay, maybe I understand it then. So instead of defining an axis, you're defining an axis by defining 2 actions. Maybe this will work. Maybe it won't. Whoa! It worked! My first GD script. I do actually like the formatting of it. It's and it seemed quite intuitive to get it to just run. And then delta here is I read there, which is good. It's the equivalent of time.delta time in Unity. So times 10, we want to move faster. Faster. Thanks, guys. We're only 1.5 hours in, and I've created this amazing project. See, experienced game developer here in the action. And then I've got a heap of people just telling me, come on, do it this way, do it this way. But again, I get so many questions as well, like how do you get started? How did you learn Unity? And this is how I learned Unity back in the day. And then it just accelerates, you learn more things. You start to look at, okay, now I wanted to, well, now I sort of know. I know how to move left and right. So if I wanted to go back and forth, but I'm not even going to add that because I'm not going to make, let's say you wanted to make a platformer, so I'm not going to walk in depth-wise. I just want to move left and right. And now I'm just going to do one more thing, and this is going to be interesting because I realized that I didn't put a normal rigid body on this. I put a kinematic body. So now I'm going to add space to make this capsule jump here. So let's go for it. I think I feel confident now. Project settings, input map, add action, jump. Like crisscross with the pants back to front. Jump plus key space bar okay. Feeling good still. There. And here we go. When I want to jump now, so I'm going to do... I want to call a function. So function, good old func name there. So input get action or something. Action strength. I guess that'll work. Oh, nice. It populates this for me. This I like. And there we go. So then we're going to do something. If, can I do an if? Do I use brackets? Or no? If, maybe I don't. In Python, I don't think you do. So I do a colon, then I want to call a function. So they seem to be naming them with an underscore. So I'm going to do a jump. Here. Can I do like a control period? No. Control enter? No. Jump isn't declared. What I like when I program in C# is a lot of shortcuts. I don't know if this one's got it. But if I would have done this in C# and called a method, I could press control period. And it'll say, do you want to create a method called jump? And I'd say, yeah, go on. Maybe there's something. Can I right click? Because it's just time savers like that. I like, but never mind. Let's skip that. Bonk. There we go. Jump. And colon, I guess. And then we've got indentation here. So in C# you would do all these curly brackets to start and stop things. But in this, and like in Python, you just do indentations by the look of it. So now I want to apply a force or something, which I don't know if I can do. Apply. Force? No. Add force. Can I do force? Force. Okay, force update. Rigid. Do I need to grab a rigid body reference? Is there such a thing as a get component? Get child? Get kinematic? No. Kinematic body. There we go. I had something there. If I could spell. Kinematic body. Here. So this is the data type, I'm guessing. How do I grab a reference to that one? Okay, so with kinematic bodies, you make the calculations yourself. All right, so get know what I need to do. Can I do it like this? Var, and I guess I should declare that up here somewhere. Var, kin, or body, I'll do. And then here, I'm guessing I can do body equals, I'm guessing I could do then like get node. And it's nice that it adds, and period I'm guessing is the node I'm currently at. But do I need to do I need to cast this to like a kinematic body or something? No, it extends kinematic body, so I'm already in there. And with var here, does that mean I'm actually getting a reference to, let's see, body dot add? No, doesn't know, doesn't have a clue. Do I need to do this here? Does it know now? No. Okay, so I'm not allowed to. I have to do a var. I can't specify what type of data type it should be then, apparently. Is it colon or something? Kinematic. No. Oh yeah, that worked. So I have to do some other language. I don't know which ones do that, but like Java, I guess. Is it? Add. Okay, so now I got some access to some things. So it knows it's a kinematic body. Translate or something. I want to apply some sort of a force. Okay, so someone said here I can't really add physics here. So right, you're inside the player node. You can just call the methods, prefix them. Move and slide on ready bar. A lot of good suggestions here. You do not need to cast. That's good. But specifying the type gives you autocomplete, which is nice. Yeah, that's cool. Let's see. You need to calculate the velocity yourself and then apply it at the end of the process with move and slide in Fancy. Okay, thanks a lot, Francis the cat. And we got that declaration there. So let's see. Calculate the velocity yourself and apply it at the end of the process with move and slide. So I'm guessing I'm barking up the wrong tree here, because I'm in the process, which is my update loop. And I need to do here. Okay, so let's do move and slide. and it gives me some hints here. So velocity 3, so my linear velocity, up direction, that's fine. By default, how can it be a vector 0 by default, which is vector up? That makes no sense. That would be a gimbal lock, I think, in normal circumstances. Stop on slope. All right, so this seems to be interesting. This is probably a lot simpler than I'm making it out to be. So move and slide is probably very prepared to move this kinematic body for me. I just need to see. So I should have probably used this one, I'm guessing, instead of translating my object locally like this. So let's get rid of that one. So I learned how to do that, but I don't really need it, I guess. And I guess I don't really need to declare that either. And I'm guessing, a lot of guessing game here. So when I do jump, I want to do... so if I declare a vector 3 here, var delta or something. No, don't want to call it delta. Movement. Colon vector 3 I want to declare. And then here I want to do movement equals... So I'm setting my movement in my world into this left and right. And then I want to add the jump force now. So if I press jump... And I'm guessing, I don't know if this is holding down the key. This is going to be a problem. I see a bug coming here. I'm guessing this will hit on every frame. And I'm going to propel myself like a Scud missile into the air. But we'll check it. So when I do this, I want to do movement equals, or can I do plus equals? Does that work in this language of GD script? And then I do vector 3 dot up times, and then how much do I want to add delta? We need to do, this is gonna be a rocket pack now. I feel it since I'm doing it every frame probably. Let's try that. Move and slide. So I want to see movement here, I'm guessing, and vector 3. I would have thought up direction is vector 3 dot up. How can it possibly be vector 3 0? That doesn't make no sense. And max slides. Okay, it's got default, so I'm guessing I don't really have to do any here, because it's got all of this stuff is pre-does. So let's try it. I don't even need to declare that, I would have thought. Let's press play. So my movement works, and if I hold space, will I fly? If I hit space super fast? No, that didn't work. So I'm doing something stupid. Let's multiply this by 100 and multiply this by 100. And press play. So now the movement. Oh, okay. So it is like a rocket back, but I'm not applying gravity again. So my estimates were correct. Nice. It's always nice when a plan comes together. The most advanced game ever. So I'm guessing I can apply physics here myself. But here I need to just change. Let's see now. This makes no sense, of course, because I have to simulate my own physics this way. So movement seems to work. And I'm guessing you could let's just do the rocket pack idea first. So I'm going to multiply that by 200. And then every frame I'm going to do movement minus equals. Nice that worked, that shorthand there. Vector 3 dot up, funny enough, or I'll add vector 3 down. Down times 100 or something. So then I've faked. It's not going to be proper gravity because it's not accelerating. I would have expected it to go up now when I hold space, but then go down by half the speed. That didn't work. Oh, it's because I'm not multiplying by delta. All right, so that works. It's nearly. I just need to make it it's a bit faster. All right, let's make it snappier. So I'm going to do, I don't need that reference anymore. Let's var speed equals maybe 1,000, should we go? And then we'll start introducing our speed here instead. And then I didn't want to declare it, so I'll do float, I guess. It's not liking this. Is it capital F? Nope. What's it saying? Oh, right, okay. float. Do I need to do it there instead? So I've declared my float. I didn't like it either. What did I do wrong this time? Did something stupid then. That's super strange. Surely this would work. Let's delete it again. I've done something stupid. The problem is elsewhere. It's because speed isn't declared anymore. Nope. The identifier body isn't declared in the current scope. Oh, right, okay. I don't need to, so here it was passed before. Var speed colon float. Well, I don't. Yeah, that's good. 1000. Speed. Oh, learning a new programming language. It's like I didn't expect this on a Thursday. Or any day for that matter. Speed times 2. And here we'll call gravity. And here you should really apply physics, I guess. Proper. I'll just do a fake gravity. Equals 1000. This makes no sense either, but let's try it. Press play. And okay, so we've got rapid movement. We've got some rocket pack going here. So interesting. All right, let's check out. So obviously this is not simulating physics yet. You do like you'd square the acceleration and stuff, both going up and down, or you do totally different. I don't even know which approach you'd pick on this one. Let's check it out. Right, okay, so physics process. I should do physics calculations. Interesting. But is there a concept of applying physics to my is movement and slide a physics thing then? Let's try Bonk. Sorry, I didn't even check the chat for a while. Physics process. Underscore physics process delta. So that's using a delta there too. So I'm guessing, should move and slide be in here? If I do control click here, I'm guessing I should find out there. Moves the body along a vector. If the body collides with another, it will slide along the other body rather than stop immediately. If the other body is a kinematic body or rigid body, it will also affect the motion of the other body. You can use this to make moving and rotating platforms. Okay, cool. This should be used in, like you said, in physics process, of course, or in a method called blah, blah, blah. And it uses the physics steps delta instead. That's why it felt a little bit different when it did that one. Otherwise, it won't run at the correct speed. So linear velocity is the velocity vector, typically meters per second. Unlike in move and collide, you should not multiply it by delta. Okay, the physics engine handles applying the velocity. Okay. So some stuff to take into consideration there, of course. So I'm guessing I move all of this. Can I do keyboard input reading inside of physics? Let's pass this one through then, if that's what you want to do. What happens if I just do this? I should not multiply by delta, it said. So press play. Oop, what happened? I indented. All right, did I put an extra indent? And now, okay, I'm playing, so let's stop, play. Oh, what's going on? Oh, right, okay. And I was in play mode again. There we go. Ow. Oh, okay. Yeah, we should not do 1,000 meters per second anymore. 1 meter per second. Space. All right. So that makes sense. I'm not multiplying it, so it's taking care of the delta itself. It's just saying for every physics frame, I'm moving 1 meter per second now. So I'm guessing, can I do something like this? This is the wrong way to do it, but this should theoretically do it. Nope. Okay. That's weird. Would have thought I could just multiply it like that. Gravity times gravity. Oh yeah, because it's 1. Right. This is going to be super powerful now. Oh, it's too strong up. Oh, physics was never my strong thing. That's why I liked using existing physics engines. What if I do 100 there? It's trial and error, this thing. That's snapping back to reality real fast. That's the most magnetic physics I've ever seen. Let's do or something. We're living in a fake world. Whoa, okay. Should be coming down there. Ooh. Alright. And you'd have to do the same, of course, for the up. So instead of just applying this one, this is literally like a rocket pack simulation rather than anything else. Never mind. If I do speed times speed. Let's try this. It should negate each other. Yeah, it does. So if I do, I should separate vertical speed. Well, let's do 7 or something. All right. So, all right. Nice. All right. Let's check out the line 20. Movement vector 3. From France, I'm going to check out. Let's hang out a little bit. I'm going to go full screen. What time is it? It's 10 to 9. I think let's chat a little bit. If you have any questions, go at Infenzia and I'll be able to check it out. So Zali is saying probably a really smart thing here. Go and read the docs of move and slide and kinematic bodies. Sounds like a very good plan. Finally, Infenzia has posted a video. This is actually not a video, it's a stream, I'm afraid. Every Thursday, come back. I usually do this every Thursday. Cool. Hello from France, Stefan. Use lerp. Yeah, that could work. To simulate a smoother movement, I guess. And there's plenty of things I could have done that. So velocity equals move and slide. Can you... Oh, sorry, the font size. Yeah, I'm showing my face now anyway, so increase my face size. Ha! Alright, so we've got Link. Hello there, how are you? I'm good, thanks. Very, very good. Having a great time doing all sorts of weird stuff. I'm impressed by your artistic stance on Blender. Thanks. I modeled with Modo and maybe shift over to Blender based on what I see you do. Have you ever used Modo ever? I did actually. Before I ever started using Blender, I still was playing around a little bit in, well, let's see now, in 3ds Max. And then I wanted to shift to something different, better priced, and I tried Modo. Because I could not get used to the right-clicking selection of Blender back in the day. I really hated it. Plus, the UI wasn't as good as it is now since version 2.8 and up. But I still, in the end, I did switch. And some of the stuff I liked in Modo, especially for low poly, if I remember it correctly, there were quite a few things that I did like about Modo's workflow compared to 3ds Max. But I definitely did not think it beats the way Blender works for low poly, and Blender is my absolute favorite thing. So I guess it's just a matter of preference on what type of tools and features you have. But a lot of the workflow to just and to do the like common operations, I found it to be easier in Blender in the end. So, but Modo is I haven't used it for many years. We've got Voma Sharma here. You didn't put at Infenzia, so I don't know why I'm reading your question first. But let's see. I'm going to go back up as well. Love this engine. Really great and easy to use. Inbuilt editor is always great and so much customizable. GD script is pretty awesome. Great for indie devs. Yeah, maybe I should do like my first impression of Godot. And I think it's some of the super pro cool things I like. That is super, a lot of super stuff here, but very, very lightweight. I absolutely love that fact of it. It's like an executable. I downloaded it, I pressed play. Well, I didn't press play. I launched it and you're in the editor. Everything's there. No extra libraries, packages to download. Everything was just like super lightweight and instantly. And I really, really like that one. Other pros that I liked is it seems to have everything that you need to get started in terms of it's just a matter of getting to understand the node hierarchy and I think if you come fresh from nothing, then coming into this would be easy. And when you're coming from another game engine, it's just a matter of getting used to, okay, so you don't necessarily need to translate. It's like when you learn a new language to speak. I speak Swedish, English, and rubbish. And when I learned English, for example, in the beginning, you start to think in Swedish, like, how do you do this? And then in the end, you sort of natively start to think in English instead. So I guess it's the same with any engine or stuff. In the beginning, you start translating the concepts, and then you form, like, that is a totally, some of the concepts are different, and you start to think in those concepts instead. So that's really cool. I liked... my first impression of the GD scripting language is similar to what I have in Python. I think, like I might be totally wrong here because I'm not a professional, like a programmer as such. But when I looked at Python, it feels, and same with PHP, I get that feeling too. Like there was a problem that needed to be solved. Someone needed to do something, so a function or a method or like a command was created to do that specific thing. And I got that impression when there was a thing called move and slide, for example. That's already like built into the language. So it feels like it was developed, to me, in my mind anyway, that it was developed with a very like game development mind, like you need to move and slide your kinematic body, for example. So here's a function for it. Here's how you do it. It seemed to have some of the stuff already prepared for it. They had some additional arguments in here, like slope limitations and stuff. So, and then I can only imagine that when you come into stuff and you want to create a game, there's like all sorts of these different functions. And I get the same idea when I've been programming and scripting stuff in Python. It's like and in PHP as well, like someone needed to do this, so a function was introduced to do it, and here's how you do it, and you know it'll be good enough for 99% of the occasions. In the difference when you come to C#, when I do that, it's funny to call this more low level because it's ridiculous, like compared to C++ in assembly code, of course. Then C# is like a super high level language. But in C#, then you'd have to, there's no concept whatsoever called move and slide. So you'd get the transform, you'd create your own functions to start translating that. So I can only imagine that, you have to use what tools are available in the native language and what Unity provides on top of that, of course. But then a lot of the stuff is on top. So, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Another thing about, I'm going to switch here as well. So for a new programmer, I think this is easier to understand maybe than C#. You don't have to, in C#, you need to new instances of like a vector 3. You have to create new vector 3 and stuff. Here you can just, maybe you have to do that here too, actually. I don't know. But the whole concept of classes and stuff, I guess this is simpler. You just drop in, as long as you indent, and the IntelliSense equivalent I really liked. That you could just start typing. I really like the fact that you just super lightweight, again, like controlled click on something, and you get into this. I really thought was cool, like super accessible. And when you launch a game, it just jumps in. I know this looks hideous, but I mean, this is usually how I start. And then the next step would be to drag in maybe a character and see if I could do... I haven't even touched animations and stuff now, or 2D. Maybe 3D isn't... I don't know what the primary use for Godot is. If it's more... Like, it'd be interesting to see the percentage of games that are 3D versus 2D. I don't really know. So... Yeah, cool. Let's go back to some questions. Oh, we got Khalid. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your super chat there. Love your studio. I've been interested in having a look at the Godot engine. I've seen a few fantastic Nintendo Switch games use it. Awesome, yeah. I can imagine that, the lightweightness of it. How do you even compile something? Let's go. I'm going to go back to the questions, of course, too, but let's see. I want to build my first game thing, Convert to, no, I want to do project. Can I build it somehow? Project settings, export. Nope. Zip. That's a cool idea to export it. So how do I build it? Play scene, play custom scene. I would expect some sort of a compile thing here. Build project. Tools. Version control, no. Convert to. All right. I just take back everything I said. This sucks. I can't build. Let's end it. No, of course not. Tell me how to build this thing. Come on. Do I click here? No. It is actually building it. Maybe it's even building it and throwing it onto my disk without me even knowing it. Let's have a look. Projects, Godot. No, definitely not. All right, tell me how to build, please. Meanwhile, I'll look at some questions here. We've got fun fact: Godot. I'm going to start saying Godot now from now on, I guess. Editor is made with Godot engine itself. Wow. Okay, that's cool. Are you going to continue this series? Not really series, Mod Salmi. It's more of a. I wanted to just show what it's like to try a new game engine from the very start. That's. I did that with the Unreal Engine 2, and maybe some people find it beneficial just to see maybe like the workflow of how to test different things out and just to get the ball rolling maybe. So there's not really a series, but I do plan to learn the 3 engines a little bit better. So Unity I'm really comfortable with. Unreal Engine I want to get quite comfortable with, and for I want to get mediocre maybe at Godot so I can do some simpler stuff in it. I don't see myself using it for most of my projects. I think I would miss a lot of the stuff that I've already learned in Unity. But saying that, I think if I were to help my kids get involved a little bit more in game development or something, I could consider teaching them Godot maybe a little bit, if I learned it, of course. Right, so let's have a look at some more questions. So Godot in mono is very similar to Unity. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even do the mono experience. No. So we got iCore Potato. Love your work, Impesia. Will you ever create or stream 2D controller using Raycast system in Unity? Oh, I haven't even used the 2D controller. Maybe I'll play around with it at some point. Oh, did I not share the screen? I don't think I was necessarily showing anything. How do you compile? Project export, add windows. All right, I'll show you. Project export. So it was export. I need to create a name then. Add. Oh, right. Okay, cool. So now I see Android, HTML5. I like this. Linux, desktop. This actually got more support than I thought. So let's try Windows desktop first. No export template found. Export path. Let's go. So I want to create a folder. Right click, new folder, build or something. With a capital U for some odd reason. Save. Okay. .exe just plain. So test.exe. And okay, so manage export template. So something, I don't really want this to happen. No export template was found at the expected path. No export template. No export templates. Best. Okay, so I need to download. All right, fine with me. Oh, so here the 79 megabytes just turned into half a gigabyte. All right, so Andrew Dalman, do you think you'll try Godot again? Do you think the ability for the community? Do you think the ability for the community to create content for Godot engine is an advantage over other engines? Let's think. I will definitely try it again. I don't know when yet, but I'm working on a potential course that is going to be speaking more about 3D, like creating 3D assets. So in Blender, the main focus would be on 3D assets to create a character, a vehicle with like a wheel collider or something, and a static object of a couple of sorts, maybe like an animal type of asset as well. So that's going to be the core content, and then I really want to nail the workflow to get those objects into the 3 engines, so Unity, Unreal Engine, and Godot. That's why I want to learn it to the point where I can comfortably say that this is the right way to import them and get the material set up. So I will need to spend more time to learn it to that level. And then maybe it'll be a nice tool to have in my repertoire. Let's see. I'm going to go here. I think I've installed it now, right? So if I do again, project, export, and export all. Let's just do that. And let's do a release. I don't need to debug this thing. Feel free to keep asking questions. Okay, so it turned out to be 30 megabytes. That was actually bigger than I thought, but it's okay. It's still a very neatly... I love the fact that it's just an exe file, and so everything seems to be working the same way it did in the editor. Nice. Ah, scared myself. Let's see. Any more questions? I'm about to end the stream in a few minutes, I think. So let's just finish off with some Q&A. Well, I've been doing that for the past 10 minutes. Like. All right. Oh yeah. So my game is 23 kilobytes. The engine is 30. That makes sense. So I remember back in the day, I used to be able to exe compress. When I did demos in the late 90s, we used to do a executable compressor or a packer, I remember. So let's see. I like the... I think do you know what? I'm going to just try the WebGL build as well. Because a lot of... when you make games for Ludum Dare and stuff, another thing that I don't know how to pronounce, because some people said Ludum Dare and stuff. But it's that game competition, or the game jam, I should say. That's the primary focus, but there's a compo version of it. So then when you make a game for those type of game jams, I really recommend that you always build it for WebGL, because otherwise you won't really have that many people playing it. If you build a Windows executable, people are going to have to download it, and they're going to get the warning saying that this is unsecure code, it's not from a verified publisher. So in that sense, it's always better to build it and accept the limitations maybe of a WebGL build. So I'm going to add here now, I want to add an HTML5 runnable. That's fine with me. Do I have to do something else here? Let's go up one folder. I don't really like the fact that they've created their own, this feels very non-Windowsy to me, but it's okay. New folder, HTML5. And it's interesting that it's calling exe here, because I don't want that. Just take test.html, save it, and runnable. I haven't tried anything with audio, anything. Interesting that you can export it as a zip file there. Okay. So let's go. I just want to export this one now, not all. So export project, if that's highlighted, is that one? Yeah, HTML5 test. Let's do it. Okay, that was such a fast build. That was absolutely spectacular. So again, another thing I absolutely love looking at this engine. Again, trying to compile even a simple game like that for HTML5 or a WebGL in Unity. I mean, literally, you'd go up, eat. Even if you don't have an upstairs floor, you'd still be able to, you'd build an upstairs floor and then go up and eat, and then come down. And then you'd have to just wait another couple of days for the WebGL build to come. Here, I didn't even manage to swip my directory fast enough, and it was already built. Let's see if it works, though. Microsoft Edge, will it work? All right, failed to fetch. Okay, so maybe I spoke too soon. But let's open it with Chrome instead then. Will that work? Don't. Failed to fetch. All right. Well, it compiled fast anyway, so I still give it credit for that. But it failed to fetch something. I don't know what it's meant to fetch. Is it still building? No. All right, what did I do wrong? Something. For desktop, regular, failed to fetch. Let's export all again then. Release. Maybe I should have done that actually. No, I would have expected it to work. Right click, open with. It could be that I'm running it locally, that it wouldn't allow me from security perspective. All right. All right. Failed to fetch. All right. Anyone got any clue? Let's see where. Here we go. Oh, okay. You need a local server. Oh, okay, so it does need a. Okay, GLES2. Will that work? Interesting that it would need a local server. Is it because of something in that case? JS? I'm guessing could it be a security reason that it doesn't allow me to launch like HTML code without a web server or something? Let's try. Someone said change this one. Let's try that. Yeah, okay. Okay, so if you run it from Godot, it'll start a server. Interesting. But how do I simulate it? Oh yeah, there. HTML5. Oh, nice. Okay. I mean, that's impressive. So this is now the local host. It runs a web server. Let's try that again. Run in browser. And it's actually launching in a different screen there. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Another thing. Very impressed by that. The speed of it. I think that's been one of the pro things that a lot of people are raving about, and understandably so. It's really, really good. All right. So is a GLES3 not supported for? Would it not run if I did this and then try to compile it for WebGL again, or HTML5 rather? Let's try it. Okay, that still worked. Maybe interesting. Should I just try one thing? Actually, I've been working on a game with my son, so he's starting to get interested into game development right now, and we've decided to make a very simple gladiator game. And a funny thing is that I always advocate, like when you create your first game, it's always good to start super simple, and that super simple bar is different for everyone. If you're a little bit more experienced, you can do still a simple game, but limit your amount of assets and amount of your ambition. If you're totally new to game development, that super simplicity would be something totally different. It could even be on the level of having stuff like these capsules and stuff going. But what we're working on is this like a gladiator. So together, my son helped me model, and at first I modeled a base character, and then we started to create some additional assets. So you can have this armor that the gladiators can put on, and the helmets here. So we went a little bit more than the traditional low poly that I've done. I've stepped it up. He didn't want the super low poly simple characters. These are still, of course, low poly, but it's got a little bit more. So we've got one that's a little bit more muscular and one here. And then we also created a very basic game design document of super simplicity, just to say that I can show that actually too. Just to make sure that we limit the scope as much as we can to make it something that we can achieve. That's the key thing. We're going to make the first iteration of it. I can show what we've created, a project gladiators here. So I'm really enjoying this, and the fact that my son is getting interested now to actually make a game. It's really fun. He's spent a lot of time in Roblox playing different types and doing a lot of building things. But literally, we just put what stuff do we need, and we spent a couple of days. So we created 2 gladiator characters, a heavy and a light one. We wanted 2 weapons. We haven't modeled those yet, the gladiator sword and a 2-handed mace. And then we want 2 shields, still have to model those. We've done the armor for the 2 characters and the 2 helmets. And then we're going to do a base of just some very basic animations, some idle, walk, run, shield block, and a couple of attacks and a couple of block animations for each weapon. And then we're just going to do something where you can right-click and join each other and have a go at bashing at each other and see if we can have some hitboxes and stuff like that. So it should be fun. It's not intended for a YouTube series or anything like that. It's just a personal project that I'm enjoying with my son, but I'm still screen recording everything just in case it could come in handy to share further along the line. That's fun. Let's see. Let's go full screen again. Hope I don't scare too many people off. Ah! Let's go back to the comments. Am I still streaming? Yeah. All right. I'm going to see a few more questions here. We've got Christopher Sundbom in Fancy. Will you get the Steam Deck? I don't think I have time to use it, unfortunately. So it looks like a cool thing, but I won't have time. That's my main enemy these days. So we've got Whoopsielo. The main aspect to understand is that Godot works with inheritance. You inherit the member function of the built-in types or custom types. Okay. Not like Unity mono behavior where you can only have one. Okay. I'll have to read that a few times just to grasp what it means. But Godot works with inheritance. Yeah, you inherit a member function. Okay, yeah, I'll read that over and over a few times. The HTML5 build is weird. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's a high prio for Godot 4, though. Okay, interesting. Yeah, stability is important. It sucked to create a game for a game jam and then it doesn't compile. And especially for web HTML5, it's really important. All right, so we got Sigurd, the game dev. In fact, yeah, there is a bonsai tree meme in the Discord channel and the creator streams. Godot is a fine tool for pruning in the dev project. Unity is a chainsaw for bigger terms. And yeah, that's a good statement. I agree with those. We've got Andrew Dahlman. Do you think free and open source game engines are good for the game development community? Yeah, I do, for sure. I think if everyone decided, like when Linux distros came along, they've been along for a long, but there seemed to be a hype that everyone wanted to create their own distro instead of doing something for existing distros. That seemed to be the hype. And game engines have come and gone as well. I can't remember the name of them now, but I don't feel like a game engine should exist in Blender. That's my opinion. It feels like that's a 3D program that can do video editing at the most and compositing, which is quite cool, but mainly it's like animating and modeling and rendering stuff, of course. So I think like a game engine in there is bloated, but there's definitely a space for a game engine exactly like Godot, I think, because this is the main reason. Super lightweight, compact. I've said that. How many times have I said that now? But as I used to, I think when I got started on the PC like 25 years ago to make games or something, it's like a game. I think it was called Game Maker or something like that. And then it's just bigger and better packages came around like Unity and stuff. But they have a lot of bloat and a lot of capability, but also a big baggage. So this is super cool. I haven't looked in so much into the community about what the development is like, what the stability is like, what type of support it is and stuff. But I'm definitely pro everything that's like open source and encourage game development. And then I also understand that a lot of stuff need to profit down the line. So if you create something, if it's made free while people are learning and creating smaller projects, I'm guessing this is totally free to use for commercial big projects, and it's going to stay open source. I don't know. I'm just speculating now. But I also understand that that can't be the case for bigger and bigger engines if they need to be sustained in the end. Let's see one more. We've got Christopher Sundboom. The UI is custom because they use the same UI, I understand, yeah, in Linux web editor. So I understand why they have to go that route then to have a custom UI. And Madmang he's fed up now. He's going to leave. Want to thank you for another great stream. Yeah, I should end there. Let's end it. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you got something useful out of having a look at Godot. Maybe you've been looking to have a look at what it was like and got some bonus content by looking at the comments from people who actually know how to use this thing. I had a good time just playing around with it, and I think it's got huge potential. I really like a lot of the aspects with it, and I'm going to learn it to the point where I can take my 3D assets and import them and do the basic stuff so I can actually show people how to do it, and I want to learn it to a level so I can help other people decide if that's the game engine that they should be focusing their time on. So with that said, I hope you enjoy everything. Stay productive, stay motivated, and I'll see you next Thursday for another stream. Until then, have a great one, and I'll see you then, if I can find the end stream button this time. So, and oh, by the way, I'm not gonna forget it this time. Let's go for the outro as well, of course. Sometimes I forget that, but I'm not gonna forget it this time. Hopefully it works. Bye, everyone. That's it. All right. I have to interrupt myself there a little bit because I had the outro muted. So I have to give you a proper send-off now. That's it. Bye for now.